So my client cooked the engine in the Impala, and now we build him another one.
Welcome back to Nick's Garage. Returning viewers will remember that Nick recently took this gorgeous Chevy Impala into his shop for a major overhaul. He built a beautiful 327 V8 engine for the car. He tested and tuned it on his dyno and dropped it into the Chevy, along with a fresh interior and new wiring from bumper to bumper. The proud owner cruised the 66 Impala for a couple of weeks on the new build, and then brought it back to the shop after massively overheating it on the highway. The just rebuilt engine was a total loss, so the guys found another block and started from scratch. Today, a second freshly rebuilt 327 is on the dyno for testing, and Nick is hoping he can finally get the big red Impala out of his shop and back on the road.
Welcome to Nick's Garage, and here we are back with the 327 that belongs to that 66 Impala. Yes, you know, we had to build another engine. The other one apparently got overheated beyond its point. You know, the engine when we had started on the Impala didn't have many miles. It was all orange like this. Then when it came back after so many trips to the south, it came back black. Now this cylinder head was orange just like the way it is on this engine on the dyno. But anyways, just to let you guys know that this engine overheated very badly. The pistons were cooked, the cylinder heads got black, the head bolts got cooked, so we had to do a lot of replacement. But my client George was always interested into a date-coated block, which is a 1966, which he wanted the breather pipe in the back of the block like so. This is what he needed, and this is what we got right now. So he's got the correct way to make the PCV valve work, because we want to make it work like it did, not exactly 100% from the factory. We wanted a closed cap PCV valve on the front tube where you put oil in it and so forth. So we got another set of heads. He's got an L79 intake manifold, L79 camshaft that he always wanted. So right now we've got exactly what he wanted. And also he wanted to dyno test the engine with the ram horn exhaust manifolds with a 2.5-inch outlet. It's got a 10.3 compression ratio, hydraulic cam, flat top pistons, and it's got about a 165-170 cylinder pressure. We are running a 650 Holley spread bore vacuum secondaries carburetor with the electronic ignition, and that's all we've done. So anyways, it's just a basic engine. It's a 327. He wants to put it back in his Impala. We're going to do some changes on the car also. We put a new clutch fan. We also put a new core in the radiator. We're going to check everything before the car leaves. We also got a no fail safe whatever thermostat, 180 degrees. We're going to check the dash, make sure everything works before this car gets delivered to my customer. You know, it turned out pretty bad. Everything got cooked so bad. 47 years in my experience, I have never seen an engine be turned black from overheating. Now, what did my friend do? My client? I don't know. Did he push it? Did he not see the light? I mean, this is beyond its limits. And I don't know what to say. Anyways, it doesn't matter. You know, we got together working on another engine. He wanted something more correct, period, to his car. This is what he has. This is what he wanted. So we built it from scratch, and here we are back on the dyno. And I wanted to get it running. He just wanted to make sure it goes back on the dyno before it gets installed in the car. He wanted to make sure everything is performing well, the timing, see what kind of power he's gonna make sure the rockers are nice and quiet, check the oil pressure, check for leaks, and so forth. You know, yesterday I had George here with us. We did some dyno testing. We broke in the cam, and he wanted to do some testing, see how it goes. Everything went well. You know, we got enough horsepower, enough torque, what he wanted. He was happy with it. But the only problem I had an issue with, one little thing. The rear seal started leaking oil. And for some funny reason, it stopped leaking on its own. I don't know why. So anyways, my test here today is, I want to warm it up, make a few tests till 6,000 RPM, and see if it leaks oil in the rear seal. Because at the end, well, we started doing some more testing last night with different timing and everything. It didn't leak any more oil in the rear seal. So I'm going to run it again so viewers can see how it goes. You know, I want my client to see the temperature. It is an old car. It does have a light, but the light works. We're going to double check everything, and I like to give them the option to put a temperature gauge. So when we start putting the engine back in the car, I want to make every scenario that this engine does not overheat for any reason whatsoever. And you know, we had one engine get cooked, so we don't want a second engine getting cooked and start building a third engine. You know, the only thing we saved on the engine was using the same valve covers, the same carburetor, the same distributor, same water pump. Besides that, everything else has been replaced. And of course, we also put a new oil pump, we put new valve springs, and we did a new valve job. We have another set of cylinder heads, we have another set of head bolts, except that the harmonic balance has been replaced, the water pump has been checked, it's good. So everything looks good, so I think we're just ready to get it running. Okay, let's have some fun, let's rev it up and see how it goes. All right, so let's turn on the computer. Let's get it warmed up. Let's get going. Turn on the computer and of course my console. Let's feed the information that we need. 1966 327. I cannot wait to finish this engine, put it back in the car. I've got other jobs in my way, and this was, I didn't expect this engine to come back with a cook down to the ground, but in other words, I had to get one built quick. Of course, put it back in. It's summertime, it's a convertible, and my client wants to drive it. So I'm doing the best I can so I can get it done. Built it like I did, throw it on the dyno, and then throw it in the car and start cruising with it. Summer's here, and you know, summers here summers in Canada are very short. So let's get going on it. It is a 327, it's a 60 thou oversized. We had no choice, that's what we got. So that's what we're gonna work with. 3.250 stroke. We're gonna take it at 6,000 RPM. That's what my client wants, that's what we're gonna do. Start at 2,900 and take it at 6,000. At 336, go begin small block Chevy. All right, here we go. We gotta put some fuel. Let's get some fuel in there. You know, this engine could probably run on a 91 octane, but right now in my shop, I got a 94 octane. I just have no time to run around to a service station to get the, or should I say gas station, not a service station, because there is no service in the gas station anymore, from the ones I know. Anyways, so we got some petrol can on the 94. 91 would work, but anyways, right now let's do the tuning with the 94 and let's take it from there. How we have enough fuel? Okay, we should make at least 2-3 tests. Okay, let's warm it up. If it all goes well, I'd like to install this engine in the car tonight. So let's see how it goes. I've got an electric water pump, so I've got it off, so I can warm up the engine a lot quicker. And you know, instead of spending the whole day warming it up with the water pump on, so electronically I turn it off here. And if you see the blue light come on, the water pump's activated. If you guys take a good look, watch this. Switch on, blue light on, water pump on. Switch off, light off, pump off. And look, we're only running 119 degrees, so we gotta really warm it up. Oil pressure is good, vacuum is good, so he's gonna have power brakes. He's also gonna have vacuum for the distributor, which is great. So far, so good. Give it a few minutes. I wanted to get it to at least 150 degrees Fahrenheit, the coolant, and then we'll take it from there. You know, it's nice after taking apart an engine that's been badly burnt, overheated. I'm glad that it's overdone with. We've got it made. It's on the dyno. I want to get this car delivered to my client, and I hope everything goes well here on the second day of testing with my viewers like you guys. I just hope the rear seal doesn't leak. For some funny reason, it doesn't leak anymore. So we're going to do some testing and see how it goes. And I hope it's all good, or else I'm going to have to replace the seal. But in the meantime, so far, so good. Okay. All right, give it a few minutes, let's do it. Good, the air fuel ratio is good, body voltage, temperature is 158. We're gonna start at 2,900 and go to 6,000. All right, here we go, I'm ready. Here we go. Now we all know my client's not going to take this to 6,000 RPM. But anyways, let's take a quick look, see what we got. The RPM, we're going to have to bring the RPM down. You guys take a look at the graph, there it is. Worse today. Not been lucky with I've not been lucky with this Impala. The first engine had no oil leak whatsoever. Now I got an oil leak on this one here. Here I am. I'm ready to put it in the car. And for some reason it's leaking oil. Oh well. So there you have it. We still have an oil leak, look at that. Last night, the last final test we did with my client had no oil leak whatsoever on the rear seal. Here we just did one pull and right away we got an oil leak. Oh well, looks like I'm gonna have to visit the seal or the oil pan gasket, I'm not sure, but This time I'm going to get a one-piece oil pan gasket, which is pretty thick. I'm going to work with that. And of course, before we install it into the car, I got to do this before the installation. So there you have it. He's got about 329, about 330 foot-pounds of torque, and horsepower is like at 313, 314 at 56, 57 RPM. That we all know he's not going to rev it at 6 grand. But he told me, you know what, for the viewers, show it at 6 grand anyways. It is a screamer. It is a 327. It's got a steel crank, good rods, ARP bolts, hypereuthetic pistons, and good cam, good valve springs. It's all good. The only thing I'm concerned right now, performance-wise, it's great. The only question I have is the rear seal. Wow, let's make another test to see how it goes. Let's see. Here we go. I like to make another test back to back. And it looks like that seal didn't work for me. You know, I've built quite a few Chevy motors, and usually 99% they work for me on the rear seal, they don't leak. But for this one, just because I'm very lucky, you know, it has to leak on me. You know, nothing's gonna be easy on this with me on this Impala. Everything seems to be a fighting battle. We built the engine, we had a few issues, we got all these things done, and now I see a little oil leak. The only thing I'm concerned right now is that little oil leak in the back. So anyways, let's make one more test. I cleaned the pan. Make one more test before I get to the seal. And here we go. All right, here we go. One more test, here we go. Okay, so there you have it. He's got just a little bit over 333. So here we go. We have 333 foot-pounds of torque. Horsepower is roughly 314, 315 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. So anyways, performance-wise, it's all good. Air fuel ratio is good. The only thing I want to look at right now, see if the seal is leaking, check for noises in the engine, and if that's done, take it off, change the seal, and install it in the car. See that? Look. Little bit, see that? You see what I mean? Now we just got one little drop. Anyways, I'm going to take a look at it. But in the meantime, performance-wise, it went well. I need to take it off. I will look at the seal afterwards. But in the meantime, I need to install it in the car because I need the space in my shop to do the other jobs that I keep delaying because of the Impala being in my way. So let's get it off the dyno and fix the oil leak and then send it off to the car. Subscribe to my channel and let's see if we can get this car out of my shop. So I have to take a look at everything. Everything's very important, every little detail. You gotta make sure the timing is good. You have no oil leaks, no vacuum leaks, no water leaks. You know what? This car is gonna be rule tested over and over and over before I hand it over to my client because I wanna make sure that everything goes well. Also put a fail-proof thermostat. You gotta make it dummy-proof, you know, because you know, you gotta do the best you can. Are we gonna put a temperature gauge? Most likely. I'm gonna talk to my client on that. But besides that, let's get it installed in the car. Like I always said, you know what, we'll take it from there. But now, once this engine is built, Dyno does everything goes well, it's up to the client to take it from there once he drives away with the car. You guys, so be very careful with your classics, take care of them, check the oil levels, make sure everything is well, so you have no issues at all.
With the Impala's second 327 nearing delivery day, Nick can focus on some of the other jobs in the shop. Like this gorgeous petty blue duster that just got a new set of gears to make it tamer on the street.
All right. All right, welcome to Nick's Garage, and I want to give you guys an update on the Impala. You guys have seen on the video that we had the engine running on dynamometer. We had a little issue with the oil leak on the rear seal. So we had the engine installed yesterday in the car. Yes, we took out the oil pan, we took out the rear seal, replaced it, and reinstalled it back in the car. But right now I got another little leak I want to fix. Is the mechanical fuel pump with the brass fitting before it goes to the line going to the carburetor. So I'm going to fix this. I'm going to put some Teflon tape on the fitting. And then at the end, I want to bring it down, make sure that the temperature light works, and I want to take it for a drive. I just want to make sure that this thing is in proper operating temperature before I give it to my client. So let's get that little fuel leak fixed, and hopefully, after when I take a test drive, that the rear seal will not leak. I've replaced it. Hopefully it's good, and hope it holds. So let me fix that fuel leak, and we'll take a drive. You know, back to the rear seal on the crankshaft. In many cases on a Chevrolet, I do not put the seal, rear seal offset, because in many cases it never leaks. But in this case, this time, I said, you know what, I won't take a chance. I got another seal, and this time we put it on offset. Put it back into the block, touch the oil pan back in, and you know what, let's get it warmed up, drive it around, and see how it goes. Sometimes you can have a car in the shop. Like I've said in the past, you know, I've gone through so many cars in my shop. There are times that some cars just don't want to leave, don't want to leave whatsoever. You know, you go through so many little things that you want to make sure that this car doesn't come back. You want to double check everything. So here we are now. I'm going to take a little brass fitting off the fuel pump that we never touched anyways, but I'm going to put some Teflon tape on it. I want to make sure because it's got a small fuel leak. The next thing I know is then we might have a fire. So let's make sure we fix that. And, you know, and like I was saying earlier, some cars could come back so many times. You know, you could do a simple job on a car or a major job, and sometimes you just don't want to leave the shop. You can start her up. And you know what, sometimes I've experienced, I could move a car for months and months in my shop. In and out, here and there, go there, road test it. Then the day you hand the keys over to the customer, he goes outside, he turns over, and the car doesn't start, which has happened to me in the past. So this is the luck I'm getting sometimes. So let me get this done, and let's go for a drive. Look at this, I just took this off, which we never touched this on the mechanical fuel pump. In the case of that, you guys, you should always put liquid Teflon or Teflon tape on threads, especially when it's not tapered. When there's a fuel line with a double flare like so, you don't need any type of sealer. But in the case of this, straight on the casing of a fuel pump, you need to put a sealer. Fuel is very thin, it's got some pressure, so this is what you gotta do. Okay, let's go, back on. I remember down at the old shop, we had a car that, no matter what you did, I remember it came in for one item. At the end, it needed 10 items because every time we got the car started, we found a new problem. We got it started, it needed a battery, then battery connections, then a starter, then it wasn't charging. I mean, it was an old car. Then we found fuel leaks, the carburetor was, when you accelerated, it was stuck on the floor. Wide open throttle. Then we found out there was no oil in the differential. You know, there were so many things, and that was, you know, the guy just came in just to get the car started, but never told us that I've been in storage for a long time. But anyway, it was just to say, like, sometimes you want to get a car started and leave the shop so you can continue on the next job, but sometimes they don't come that easy when it comes to leaving. But when you're dealing with an old car, you know, you fix one thing, that thing is old, that thing is old. You know, you're not restoring the whole car, you're only fixing what needs to be repaired. And then what happens the next day or a week later, if it needs repairing, back in the shop for repairs. also got a new 6-blade fan with a clutch. We removed the solid fan. If you take a good look, right here, you can feel the wind coming right through the radiator. I want you to put your hands here. You can feel the wind. Look at the shroud. When you got this 3-core radiator, there is no reason why you should overheat. He's got maximum cooling. He bought all the best stuff for it. So now, let's take it for a drive. Right, let's take that Impala for a ride. Let's put it to the test. Let's put it to the torture test. Do whatever you want. Let's go. My client saw with his own eyes that the water temperature light goes on when I grounded it. Not only that, we want to make sure, even the sensor, Manny had checked it for me before we installed it, that when we heated it up, the element also activated the light. So I want to take every precaution I can. Don't forget, it might be good today, it might be good tomorrow, but if there's any reason to overheat right now, we're gonna see it right away. Lights on. I know the oil pressure is good. We also had the oil pump replaced. You know, it's a nice warm day today. After all, this is not a race car, it's a cruiser. Folks, as you're watching, I'm driving the car up and down the street. I'm waiting for the temperature light to come on. Like I said, there's no reason why it should come on. It works. The coolant is full. The timing is set right. We got a new radiator cap. We have the same water pump. We checked the water pump. The water pump was good. We also installed a no-fill thermostat, 180 degrees Fahrenheit. The belt is nice and tight. The pulleys are the right diameter. We got a new core, so there's no reason why this car should overheat. So I'll bring it back to the shop right now and just let it idle with the hood shut and see if the light comes on. And then there's another indication. You turn off the engine if it boils over, and then you know we're overheating. Which I've done that earlier this morning. No issues with that whatsoever. So far, so good. My client has driven it before. I never have. This is the first time I'm driving this car, so I can say I want to make sure it's safe before I deliver it to him. It's like my client said, do whatever you have to do, Nick. And I said, you know what? You're damn correct. You know, a beautiful day with a convertible, there's nothing more to ask for. This is what life's all about. Driving a classic car on a warm day with the top down. big test is when you give it to a client and he drives it for a few days, a few weeks. That's the big test, you guys. What I do is just goes around the block. It's an indication if anything's gonna happen, it's gonna happen right now. If there's any faults. But so far, so good. There we have it. We've got the car running, tuned. I've driven it. It seems to be going pretty good. Now for the big test is when I hand it over to George, the owner of the Impala. And George, I'm taking it for a drive. Everything seems so good. Now for the big test is when it goes in your hands and you drive it.
Well, I'm going to be going downtown today, so it's going to be in traffic for a while.
That's a big test right there.
Right there, and on the highway, I'm going to kick it a bit just to see how it goes.
Drive it as you wish.
And I waited a long time, and maybe do a car show tonight.
There you go.
There you go.
Go show it off, man. Why not?
Oh, absolutely.
And remember one thing. That water temperature light. Pay attention to it,
All
just in
the
case.
time.
I know you got a sunlight behind you when you're driving a convertible, but pay attention. Try to listen to detonations. I don't think so. I think it should be good because everything seems good so far. And I think you've done a lot of updates on this package that we did now in the second build. So I think you should be great.
Maybe I should get a water temperature gauge.
Yeah, that's a good idea. A lot of our viewers on our channel said that, you know what, we should install one. And if you wish to put one, I'll get you one.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank all our viewers. We looked at all your comments. We took suggestions from everybody, and we put the new motor together. And hopefully, this will work out for a long term.
That's me too. So it's finally getting delivered. I just want to thank our viewers here on Nick's Garage. Thank you guys for standing by on this Impala. We had some tragedy with the first engine, so we got it built because the summer's here. It's a convertible, and of course you want to go to car shows.
Oh, absolutely.
So we have to get this package done, and here it is.
So, with a new nickname and his second 327 rebuild of the summer, George the Thermostat pulls his Chevy out of the shop. And hopefully he won't be pulling it back in anytime soon.
All right, here it is. We're back at the mail time. I got one package. I'm urgent to open it up because, you know, every once in a while when I pick up a few parcels or gifts, I open them up at the same time. But I got one package from Michael from the state of Wisconsin, which I've got some free time right now, and I just wanted to open up here in front of our viewers and see what he has sent us. All right. Okay, Michael, let's see what you got here for us. Here's a letter. Okay, Nick, enclosed you will find 2 flags from your shop. Maybe these 2 flags will put your over 500 flags. Enjoy. Mike, your Patreon supporter. Michael, thank you very much. So I see you got us the flags. Oh, wow. Okay, I understand what's going on. Coffee. Here we go. Medium dark. Whole bean. Come on, this is too much, man. Whole bean, Hawaiian coffee. Good stuff, Michael. We don't have this one, but I gotta try it. Okay, and we have a coffee grinder here in the shop. That'll take care of it. And here is the 2 special flags. All right, here we go. Yes, and this one here is the American Instant flag, right? Am I correct? All right. No, we do not have this flag. Yeah, it's an embroidered flag. This is not a cheap flag, you guys. Very nice. I gotta put Michael's name on it.
Michael, thank you for being a Patreon supporter.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. There you go, Michael. This is your flag. Yes, and we do not have this flag. And let's see the other flag now. And which flag is this? This is the Road America. I gotta start making space in my shop to put these up. Road America, here it is. Yeah, we don't have this one, that's for sure. Wow, 2 more flags to my list. In the state of Wisconsin. Michael, thank you very much, Michael, for the coffee, for the flags, and also being a Patreon supporter. And you guys, thanks for watching us here on Nick's Garage. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.